I was realizing the other day that I haven't done a video since the 4th of July. Part of that is just me and being busy and focusing on other stuff and being lazy. But I started with one a week at the beginning of this whole experiment back in February when I planted seeds. And so I thought it was a little bit rude not to leave like the 10 people that are paying attention with no update at the end of the season. So probably gonna do this quick today, but I wanna give you a little bit of an update on what I learned, end of the season, and where we go from here. So I'm gonna actually start inside today. Some of you on Instagram might have saw that I talked about my husband's grapefruit tree. Like this whole branch is a new one this year. All of the growth up here, all of these are new this year. All of this over here is new, and then it started to come up here and is starting to grow new growth up here too. So this plant has been struggling for years. It has not liked it in Minnesota at all. We have found that it loves our sun porch, and this is the first year we've had it out here, and it's done just phenomenally. Oh my gosh. And this isn't a big deal. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but this is all grass, like a house plant that I've propagated. Now that I know how to propagate stuff, like I can't help myself whenever I see a shoot. I have no idea where we're going to put all this. So if you need a house plant, you let me know. Probably my biggest failed experiment is everything that I had up on my deck. These Romas finally don't have any end rot, which is great, but obviously the plant is dead and I just could not keep up with the water up here. So that's a problem. The mint is doing fine because it doesn't care as much. These herbs are doing okay. I need to get these strawberries watered. The other thing I learned is that these strawberries, I thought they were just small because I suck at gardening, but then I looked at the seed packet I got. They're petite strawberries. Like, how useless are these? So I need to get a better pack of strawberry seeds, and I'm sad because I wasted a year. Chives are loving life, and my squash plants, really disappointing this year. Like, I don't know what this is. They kept dying off and then like new growth on the end, but the plants themselves never really made it, and all things suck with this. So anyway, container gardening, maybe not for me. Not something that I was very good at. Not something I plan to do much of.
Who are you talking to?
I don't really know who I'm talking to. What are you doing? You're playing on the new rug we got for Halloween?
Yeah.
Cool. Please, can you say hi and show them the flower petal that fell off?
Hi. That fellow petal right there fell off, and this is the one.
Yeah.
Kind of got hold of that.
Yeah. These annual flowers did really good and expanded way more than I thought they would, and they've been beautiful all year. The asparagus also, like, I'm really impressed with these asparagus beds because they didn't get weedy, like overly weedy, which has been super helpful. So hopefully next year we have asparagus, and our wildflower beds have done awesome. I'm now realizing though that a lot of these wildflowers are like throwing seeds willy-nilly. So, you know, we'll see how that goes next year, but some of these are so gorge, just really gorgeous flowers. So more asparagus, again, no weeds, super happy with that, and more annuals. This one didn't do as good as the other one. I don't really know why. Maybe it wasn't getting watered as well, but still, it looks fine. So in this bed, we have some carrots that I've left in here, and I'm gonna start pulling these soon. This was onions, and my onions didn't get overly big. There's still a couple in here, which I'll show you, that are getting a little bit bigger. I actually pulled them early because I wanted to plant something else in here. I did plant like a kale bush, and that is supposed to be kale, and this is supposed to be kale, but none of that grew as fast as I wanted it to. Our pepper plants still look good. They're yellowing. I don't really understand why they're yellowing, but we still have quite a few good peppers on here, so I actually was going to harvest some of these today. And then these tomatoes, I was looking back at my last video and I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong where I'm not pruning enough and that's why the tomatoes are so small. No, these are called sweet pea tomatoes. Like, they're supposed to be this small. They're like a novelty at the beginning of the season. And now they're like a colossal waste of my time to pick them. So if anyone knows me in real life and lives close and wants an enormous amount of small tomatoes, you come straight over here and you get them and pick them yourself. This is one of my only crops that has done well in a fall planting. This is my spring peas, or the peas that I did, and I planted another crop this fall and they seem to be doing really well. So I never had enough pea plants to harvest like a bowl of peas, and I'm hoping, I still don't think I'm gonna have enough, but whatever. This is one of the best Brussels sprout plants that I have, and I think it's time to harvest, because see how these ones are starting to split apart. So I'm gonna start this week probably taking some of these off, but I'm super jazzed about this. So this was a good experiment. This is what most of them look like though, where they're still really small, and so we'll see where they get by the end of the fall. Some extra strawberries, some basil that just looks sick and sad. Most of the basil looks sick and sad right now. Some extra carrots. And then this was the only other success for the fall planting. So basically what happened is I tried to do fall planting, and then the squirrels ate all the seeds. And so they ate all my radish seeds up here. These kales are doing really well, which I'm happy about, because I've read that if I put the greenhouse cover on here so the snow doesn't get in, when this freezes, it will actually just like stay edible until I pick it. It won't grow anymore, but it'll stay for a while. So like, I want these kale plants, they have about another month to put on growth, and I'm hoping they get a lot bigger. I'm feeding them all the time. And then same with these lettuces. Like these lettuces worked out well. Everything else that I planted for fall planting, the squirrels ate. I kind of forgot I had those covers, those insect covers, and next year if I do fall planting, I'm gonna have to put on those insect covers to avoid the squirrels eating my seeds. My tomato plants are all dying back. I'm still getting a lot of fruit off of them, but they look really bad. This is like a new cherry tomato plant that my neighbor got me that are really, the black cherry tomatoes. They're delicious, and I'm gonna try to save some seeds from this next year and plant more. My Berkeley tie-dyes are still like, I don't know, you can't really see, but they're loaded with fruit still. And so I am hopeful, there's another big bunch down there, that some of these are able to get all the way ripe here before the end of the season, because there's a lot of food on there. And then again, if you live here, you want these little guys, come get them. My Roma end rot problem lasted all season. This Roma plant, which is in the raised bed, never had a problem. So I just picked this morning, so there's only green ones left, but they all look good if they can mature. And so I think what I learned is if I do Romas in the future, I'm always gonna do them in the raised bed, just because I think the watering is better here. I pulled out all of my peas and cucumbers and beans. I don't like these beans. So like, I stopped picking them. I just don't like them. They're supposed to be French beans, and I feel like they taste weird. Maybe I'm not picking them early enough. Like I was picking them around this size, but not consistently. Sometimes they're getting bigger, and then they were just kind of chewy and icky. So I'm keeping them on the vine. I'll have some dried seeds from them, but I don't know, maybe I'll try to cook them one more time, but I just didn't like them. So these probably are not gonna be like, look at that, now I'm just like leaving them all on there. Now I'm just being crazy about it, but I just don't like them. And then again, Brussels that are ready to be ate. And this is where the squirrels ate my seeds. For example, here, had a broccoli plant over there that's gone. Like, look at all these holes. Like they're digging, this is their favorite one, I think, because it's close to the fence, and so they can get on the fence. Tomatoes. Lots of end rot, but some finally coming through. So like this one has end rot on it, this one doesn't. So finally getting some good Romas over here. I still haven't torn out this asparagus bed, but you can see all the weeds. I'm actually gonna leave it now and then see if I can like keep up with the weeds next season when they come out, or if the asparagus comes out. I don't know, we'll see. This is the only broccoli plant I didn't pull out early in the season, and it continues to like floret these little broccolis like all the time. And so I think next year, if I have the space for it, I'm gonna try to keep a couple more broccoli plants in, because if I had literally one more, because my kids never eat broccoli, this would be enough for my family. I try to do some Swiss chard down here in fall planting. We'll see how that goes. It's not gonna be nearly big enough to eat. And then this is another of those little, this is another one of those little black cherry tomato plants. This one is in my, I may put mostly compost in this bed, and I'm gonna talk about the potatoes in a second. But this one is easily 4 times the size of the one in the raised bed. So I know this soil was amazing. And it's continuing to like make so much fruit on here. So this soil was amazing. I put potatoes in here. We pulled the potatoes. There wasn't a single potato in the ground. It was the most disappointing day ever because like the leaves were all the way across the yard, and we thought we had so many potatoes in here. But I think the compost I put in wasn't all the way broken down. And so I'm wondering if they just don't like growing in that soil, or if I didn't plant them low enough. Like, I don't think it was nutrients of the soil, because I think the soil is, like, according to that tomato plant, the soil is jazzy, but it did not grow potatoes. So I have no idea why. Our compost heap continues to, like, every time I pull up plants, it's like getting bigger, and we live in an urban area, so it's not the biggest space. We're still putting most of our food scraps up here to keep critters away. We're excited for the trees to start to have leaves come out though, so that we can get some brown matter in here. And mainly all, like, I don't know what all this is. I'm just growing weeds. Like, that's the other thing, is I think I can't throw the weeds in here because I think I'm just growing weeds. I had extra asparagus and I like threw it everywhere. So like, this is by our watering can, which got heavy and fell off of our stand, which is fine. There's some back there too. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll have random asparagus everywhere next year. And then the last thing I'll show you, I'm just out front. We got our first planters this year. So Vivian and I made this nice little planter box of this kind of decorative cabbage. Whoa, there she goes. Some mums, some black-eyed Susans, and then this is a grass that we actually are going to be planting in our landscape. So this is a perennial, and so is the black-eyed Susans. And so at the end of fall or the beginning of spring, whichever one, we'll put those out in our perennials or in our landscape, which will be nice. And then we have a matching one over here. And we actually splurged and got some self-watering containers, because now I've learned that watering is a problem of mine. So this tells me how full it is. This is where I put the water, and I don't have to worry about it for weeks at a time, which is great. So there you have it. It was a really good rookie year. I think last video I said we're gonna do all these other house yard projects. We are totally not going to be doing that. We did buy some tulip bulbs. I don't know where we're gonna put them. And we do have some grand ambitions for growing our garden, but I think right now I just need to, focus on mental health and my children and work and get through this crazy fall. So I hope you're well, and I hope that you're ready for winter, Minnesota. Here we come.